I'm Warren Sprouse. This is the Bible Forum, February 25. I want to talk to you a little bit about Roe v. Wade. You remember Roe v. Wade? Roe v. Wade is the law of the land, put together by a Supreme Court who had access to artists' renderings of what a fetus looked like in the first 3 months of gestation. Later on, we now have the ability to see almost like a photograph, and it isn't at all like those drawings. The reasoning of the abortion rights movement in general, and Roe v. Wade in particular, depends on two assumptions. First, that unborn babies are meaningfully different from born babies, and that viability has been redefined to mean those who actually survive abortion attempts. Now that may sound sarcastic, but it's not. That's law. That's the way it works. Several decades of science have demolished the first assumption. We can see into the womb now. We can observe a baby hiccuping, sucking its thumb, clapping, practicing breathing, even playing. So the obvious question when confronted with such a spectacle is how this child differs from the one on the outside. And it challenges the reasoning of Roe, specifically invoking viability at the stage at which an unborn child could survive outside the womb. Advances in neonatal intensive care have pushed the point of viability back from 28 weeks to about 22. And it continues to move earlier and earlier almost every year. Now, all of this has left the American medical system in a state of schizophrenia. Doctors and nurses will work around the clock heroically to save the life of a baby born prematurely. At the same time, many of those very same doctors and nurses will be called upon to end the life of another baby the same age or even older. Ultimately, the author of this piece suggests, quote, the reason science has been such a powerful ally to the pro-life cause is because it resonates with the common sense of fetal heartbeats and swelling stomachs, end of quote. It gives us permission to voice something we already know at an intuitive level, and that is that the unborn are babies, and they should be treated as such. How unique is that? Former George Bush bioethics appointee and Notre Dame professor O. Carter Snead explains that science serves as, quote, a bridge to our moral imagination, end of quote. By itself, science is not enough, but it can lift the curtain that made it so easy to claim ignorance of what and who the unborn really are. And in that sense, those who still refuse to admit the humanity of the littlest humans are the true science deniers. The arguments stem from legal abortion keeps women alive. Think back alley abortions. To legal abortion helps poor women who can't afford another child. To legal abortion protects women from the burden of children as a result of rape. And of course, no man can understand any of these or any other issues related to pregnancy. And are we not living in the land of the free? But none of this factors in reality or logic, not to mention historical context and absolute morality. These are children. This is not foreign tissue. It's not a disease. Abstinence can prevent unwanted pregnancies. Little self-control. Rape is the product of an immoral society. Are we concerned about that? Other societies have executed rapists. In our culture, we understand them. And there is a fourth. Our culture encourages women that they can be just like a man, when the obvious reality is they cannot. Dress, act in immoral or suggestive ways, and women become objects. They become targets. What they are not is innocent in that exchange. There are exceptions. Compassion, family, adoption are all remedies. We don't have to murder the innocent human beings. But America would have to return to her biblical roots for any of this to make sense. And we certainly can't do that, can we? So we will find more and more reasons why murder is acceptable. Of course it's not. But that canard will help people sleep better until it doesn't. For God judges sin, all sin. He judges it here, and He judges it there. Here, the most subtle form of judgment is simply giving people what they really desire and are willing to pursue no matter what. There, the ultimate, unyielding, unchangeable judgment promised to all who reject God, His sacrificial lamb, and His endurable word, the values built into these United States of life, liberty, and the freedom to pursue true happiness, not the immoral gratification pretending to be happiness. There, the judgment will be irrevocable. The Bible says the small and the dead will be assembled before the judge. The judge is Jesus. And He will look at the books. And these people will be judged based on what's in the books. Words, thoughts, deeds, everything in the books. And the Bible says that there is another book, separate from all of the books of life. That other book is the Lamb's book of life. And it says, regardless of what's in your book of life, as God keeps it records, if your name is not written in the Lamb's book of life, nothing matters. Salvation is not about how we live our life down here. Salvation is about what Jesus did and about whether or not you care. Tell me that you care about babies, about women, about your family, about society in general, about all the things surrounding abortion. But don't tell me that you're okay with it and you still love God. Can't have it both ways.